Adam, busy weekend. I think fair to say mixed results this weekend for the Tar Heels.
Best news on the women's basketball side is that the Tar Heels are getting healthy. Carolina gets back Alyssa Usby and Renaya Kelly during the ACC tournament in Greensboro. Got a couple wins, beat Boston College, beat Florida State, then lost to NC State, third game in 3 days in the ACC tournament semifinals. First time Carolina's been in the semifinals since 2014. But again, you got Usby back, you got Kelly back. That's the team the Tar Heels want to play with in March. The NCAA women's bracket will be announced this coming Sunday at 8 o'clock. Tar Heels feel good about being in host position, which would be the first time they've hosted since 2015, so a full 10 years. In order to be a host, you got to be a top 4 seed. Looks like the Tar Heels are in a good spot, and here's the difference with the men's and the women's selection. A lot of the women's power tournaments are over, so you don't have these late jumps on the last 24 hours or something like you might see on the men's side. A lot of these teams Carolina's competing with are done, and we'll spend this week getting ready for NCAA, just like the Tar Heels. So feels like Carolina did what it needed to do in Greensboro.
I was just looking, women's basketball. Okay, so this is ACC announces future neutral sites. Women's basketball going to be in Charlotte in 2027. I don't know where it is in 2026.
I heard Matt Krause say, I think, unless I misheard him, that it is not in Greensboro next year.
Yeah, well, okay, so this is only the North Carolina sites, so there must be a non-North Carolina site. Men's basketball is in Charlotte next year, then Greensboro, then Charlotte, then Greensboro. So Charlotte this year, and then Charlotte again next year, and then it alternates with Greensboro for 4 years. Charlotte, Greensboro, Charlotte, Greensboro. I'll see if I can find where the women are going to be while you continue.
Okay. We'll continue onto the Diamond, where the Tar Heels went into the weekend undefeated, but boy, a good Stanford team came to town and won 2 out of 3 against the Tar Heels. The Sunday game, which was the decisive game, was a 7-0 Stanford win. That's Carolina's first home conference series loss since April of 2023. Tar Heels just weren't real sharp this weekend. Stanford was able to get some good contact on Jason DeCaro on Friday night, which is something that hasn't happened up till this point in the year. A couple of defensive lapses. The bats didn't get the timely hits. Just kind of an all-around, that's how you lose 2 out of 3 to a good team like Stanford. And again, as we've said, ACC is stacked. And the tough schedule continues for Carolina, which still 14-2 overall. They'll be at UNC Wilmington today. UNC Wilmington's a really good team, went to the NCAA tournament last year. And, of course, we know they always want to beat Carolina. And then the Tar Heels go to Louisville this weekend, so tough week coming up. Not a tough week for women's lacrosse. They get another big win, beat number 14 Virginia 20-8. Olivia Vergano had a hat trick in the first quarter. Our girl Chloe Humphrey had a hat trick in the second quarter. Chloe Humphrey finished with 5 goals. She had 8 points. Ashley Humphrey had a game-high 6 assists. She had 7 points. Are they a wagon, Jones?
They're on wagon watch for sure.
They're 7-0 overall. They're 3-0 in the league. They're number 2 nationally behind number 1 Boston College. Carolina has 3.
Do we know when they play BC?
It's in April, and it's here. I think
so
it might
still
be
a while away.
Yeah, it might be like April 5th, I think, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Feels like that's the wagon deciding game.
This game is for the wagon.
Well, I mean, if they go out and just wagon BC, then they're wagon.
Well, you've got
because they've been on. They're certainly on wagon watch at the moment.
You've got another chance this weekend because the Tar Heels already have 3 top 15 wins this year. They'll face number 7 Clemson Saturday at noon. That would contribute to the wagon talk. Men's lacrosse got another win also.
Sorry, I have been given information as to where the ACC women's tournament is next year. Okay. It's not public yet, so I can't disclose it.
Okay.
But
it's not Greensboro.
Not Greensboro.
And not Charlotte.
Adam, it's not in Greensboro.
Okay. Well, don't disclose it because there might be a special on ACC Network to announce where it's going to be.
No, that's exactly right. I'm just telling you, it's not in Greensboro. I would also be surprised if it was in Charlotte. I don't know that, though.
Right. Well, how could anyone know at this point? What they do know is men's lacrosse beat Hofstra 18-7. Tar Heels went on a 7-0 run to put the game away. Dewey Egan had 3 goals, but 13 different Tar Heels scored. Owen Duffy had a season high with 4 assists. Still a long time till ACC play opens. Carolina opens ACC play on April 5th against Virginia. There's 4 ACC teams in the national top 11. Carolina's 5-1 overall, ranked number 6 nationally, and they'll host Jacksonville on Sunday. The Fighting Cardinals?
Oh, boy, they could only be so lucky. I'm guessing that's the Dolphins.
Oh, yeah, okay. That'll close out the 4-game homestand. Women's tennis, we know they've been a wagon from time to time. And
previous wagon
got another win over another ranked team. 2 ranked wins. Beat number 24 Clemson on Friday 4-2. The Tar Heels lost the doubles point for the first time this season. That'll concern you. Don't worry. They came back and got 4 big singles wins to close out the Tigers. Then go to Georgia Tech on Sunday, swept the Jackets 4-0. Carolina quietly 13-3 overall, 4-0 in the league, ranked number 5 in the country, and they'll start a 4-match homestand against Wake on March 21st.
Not too bad when you have like a rebuilding year and you're number 5 in the country during your rebuilding year.
And everybody's probably going up to Brian Cowboys like, what do you think you guys need to do better? I know you're disappointed with this number 5 national ranking.
Yeah.
And
like a whole lot of roster turnover, just like, a lot of people graduated, a lot of new players, new lineup.
Yeah.
Coach, it's got to be very concerning. Oh, wait, you're number 5 in the country?
I'm sorry you've had to deal with this undefeated ACC record and these players who are all ranked in the national top 100. Another sweep for softball. Pitt comes to town, Carolina, for the ACC opener. Tar Heels sweep them, finished it off with an 8-4 win on Sunday. Kenna Ray Dark started and struck out 7, and then Britton Rogers came in and got the save. Britton Rogers, 8 1/3 innings on the weekend and didn't allow an earned run. So that is good. Here is another good stat. Kat Rodriguez hit 750 in the series and drove in 7. With runners in scoring position this past week, she hit 833. She currently leads the team season long in batting average at 473 and has driven in 42 runs. Carolina's only played 25 games, and she's driven in 42 runs. Tar Heels are 21-4 overall. They're now 3-0 in the ACC. They'll face Radford today, and then they'll go on the road to Clemson this weekend. Gym Heels elevate the stage quad meet in Huntsville.
I didn't see any of this, so your information is going to be new to me.
It sounds like this didn't go ideally for the Tar Heels. Team score of 195.625. Cal won the meet at 197.2. Carolina's only 49-plus rotation was Bars. That was at 49.025. So I think fair to say the Tar Heels have had better meets this season. They'll get another chance on Friday. Regular season finale will be at Carmichael against Western Michigan.
Do you know how many teams play ACC softball?
15.
15?
Oh, yeah. I mean, 15.
That was a surprise to me.
You thought that was a low number or a high number?
I thought that was a high number. Or it was higher than I thought it was. But I guess a lot of teams have added softball in the last couple of years. I know Duke and Clemson, both in the last 6 or 7 years, have added the sport. Of course, Stanford and Cal coming in, they both play it. Sorry, I was just checking. Tar Heels one of 2 undefeated ACC teams in conference play right now, along with Cal.
We'll meet you in Dallas, Cal, to settle this. SMU, do they play softball? I bet they don't.
They do not. SMU doesn't play baseball. I know we've talked about this before, but they don't play baseball. I bet they will eventually.
So the teams that don't play softball, SMU, maybe like Syracuse? And
Syracuse does play.
Boston College?
BC does play.
Okay, I don't.
How many teams are in the league? 18?
18, but that's counting Notre Dame. Does Notre Dame play
plays
softball?
Wake Forest does not play softball.
Really?
SMU does not play softball, and Miami does not play softball. Miami barely plays anything if you really look at it. Miami didn't make the tournament in men's or women's basketball this year. Life wallet.
When the checks start bouncing, competition level goes down. That was like a little mini 5-second challenge.
Yeah.
Name the ACC teams that don't play softball.
Go.
I got SMU.
Yeah.
Wrestling. Tar Heels went to the ACC championship and finished 4th as a team. Boy, this meet lasted until the wee hours of the night. Lachlan McNeil was in what was the last individual final in 149 pounds, and it took place at like 11 o'clock on Sunday over in Durham. I wasn't there in person, but I watched it on television. This was a good match.
Hokies won the team title.
They
right?
did. They appear to be really good based on my exceptionally limited wrestling knowledge.
Carolina beat Virginia Tech earlier this season in a duel meet.
Did not beat them at the ACC championships, and Lachlan McNeil did not win his championship bout, but he was facing someone from Virginia Tech who's the reigning national champion. And it went into sudden victory, so very even, and then basically one move decides it, and it did. Tar Heels, I think, got 6 NCAA tournament qualifiers, so a good meet, even without the specific individual championship. And then men's tennis won 4-3 at Louisville Friday. They also lost the doubles point, but came back to win 4 singles matches, including 2 of them in 3 sets. Then won 4-3 at Notre Dame Sunday. Tar Heels were down 3-1, but Sam Paul gave a big
weekend
motivational speech. Tar Heels come back and win 3 singles matches in a row to clinch. They quietly have won 4 of the last 5. They're 8-4 overall, 3-1 in the league. They're back on the road this coming weekend when they go to Georgia Tech and Clemson.